What works for me is sales is education. Sales is helping somebody make a decision, even if it's not for them to hire you.
In most people's minds, selling is sleazy, but at the end of the day, if we can think about what it is that we're actually providing, this amazing service, that skill set that so many of us have is so incredibly valuable.
When you're having these conversations and you're asking questions and you're learning and you're making recommendations, suddenly you're no longer a videographer.
Right.
You are a strategist.
On this episode of the podcast, we're gonna be talking about productizing your video services and also how sales shouldn't be a bad word. What is up, my friend? Welcome to the Grow Your Video Business Show. My name is Ryan Coral. I am your host, and I'm super excited that you are here. I'm assuming that you are a filmmaker, a video business owner. If you're not, that's cool, but this show is really designed to help filmmakers, video business owners grow their video business. So we talk about sales and marketing and operations and all of the things that we need to scale, to be profitable, to figure out how to charge what we're worth and do all of the things because we love this work, and I love this work for you. I love it for me. I love it for you. I've been doing this work for 20 years and I still enjoy it. I've built a team, and I want to be able to help teach you the things that I've learned and help you hear from the mistakes that I've made. And this episode today, I think there is some goodness in here that I really hope that you can hear. Stuff specifically about sales, and then this idea, I've talked about it on the show before, about productizing your service. There is something in here to consider if you don't already productize your service in any way, shape, or form yet. Maybe you do and you're kind of like, I don't even know what that means, and that's fine too, because I probably speak in jargon and I don't even realize it. So my apologies. Before we jump into today's episode, I wanna let you know about something that I'm doing to help you. I am gonna be hosting a live coaching call. This is a Q&A call. I normally reserve these only for our 10X filmmaker community, for people that are in this paid group, but I'm gonna be doing a live Q&A for anybody that registers. So all you have to do is give me your name and your email address, and you'll get all of the information for where we're gonna be doing this live Q&A and the links and all the things that you need. So that's it. That's your cost of getting in, is your email address. And you can do that if you go to studiosherpas.com/10xfilmmaker. Currently, if you went there right this minute, there is a wait list. So you'll click that wait list thing, and that's where you'll type in your name and your email. If you're listening to this later, that link might not actually be on that page. This is a limited time offer to get access to this free coaching call. So go sign up. And if there's not a wait list, then, if you're on our email list and I do something like this in the future, you will get notified. But make sure that you are registering under that 10X Filmmaker page for this. That's it. Let's jump into today's episode. I'm really excited about it. What's up, friends? Hey, welcome to another episode of the show. Today with me is Maxwell Bentley, who is the founder and chief storyteller at Bentley Media. Maxwell, I can't believe you haven't been on the show, man. Known each other for a long time. Super pumped that you're here.
I know. I've been a part of your community for a long time, and I've gotten tremendous value from it. And so it's a real honor to be on your show, Ryan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite moments of you is when you came to the Onward Summit at our studio back in, I think it was 2018. It's either 2018 or 2019. And you provided, I think, one of the best testimonials for our in-person event for filmmakers.
Yes.
The energy is just like unparalleled. So appreciate that.
Appreciate that. Energy sells events. And you definitely provided one of the most unique in-person experiences that I've ever seen on the video side. There was no focus on tech. There's no focus on like, hey, let's learn how to edit. You were just all business all the time with a group of really heart-centered speakers. And that was very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm getting ready to announce the 5th Onward Summit and potentially the last one, at least with the format that we've been doing it. I think I mentioned recently on a podcast, I'm like, yeah, we've been doing the event and I pretty much have lost money every single time. So I'm gonna lose money one more time and then figure out how to reformat this thing so that it's not such a suck on the finances, but people love it. It's amazing, and yeah, we're gonna do it again. So put in your calendars for the Onward Summit. You can get more information at studiosherpas.com/onward. Okay, thanks for the thanks for the little commercial. We're back from commercial break. So Maxwell, tell me what in your video production business is getting you excited today?
I am at a very pivotal moment in my business right now. For the last 9 years, I have been focusing on just waiting around getting referrals. And I feel like that's where a lot of videographers start. And that's probably where a lot of video producers and videographers still are. And unfortunately, with that system, and just like any other system, if you don't have control over the referrals coming in, or if you don't have some kind of system that allows you to kind of predict, or a lever that you can push to increase the number of leads coming in at any particular time, it's almost like the kiss of death. And so I have been focusing on, instead of just waiting around for custom orders, I am transitioning to creating productized offers that I can go out and promote and push and find the most efficient way to sell those. And it's been a very exciting few months, and I'm excited to talk about where I've been so far.
Love that. I think when you say when you say things like, well, even referrals, like waiting for referrals, pretty much all of us, when we start this business, we didn't have another business before this. This is usually our first business. And when we just want the work to sell itself, we want people to see it and be like, wow, that looks awesome. Let us hire you. And we want our demo reel or our show reel to be the thing that sells us. We want our website to be the thing that sells us. We don't want to have to be the thing that sells us, because in most people's minds, selling is sleazy, makes you feel like a used car salesman. But at the end of the day, if we can think about what it is that we're actually providing, this amazing service that not everybody, most people can't do. They don't have the gear, they don't have the know-how, they don't know how to light, they don't know how to frame, they don't know how to get good audio, and then they don't know how to conduct an interview or put together something from start to finish that engages people. So that skill set that so many of us have is so incredibly valuable, but people, it's hard to communicate that without communicating it in the way that sounds like you're ready to go out into the world with this, like, here's how we can help people. We offer XYZ. So I'm excited for you to dive into that. But I'll also say that I think there's some hesitation for people feeling like, I just want the work to sell itself. I'm either introverted or I'm just way more comfortable, sitting behind my computer, editing and following up on emails. But to go out to network, I don't want to do that. I don't want that to be part of my practice. There's no predictability there. You're kind of, I think it's called hope marketing, where you're just kind of like waiting and hoping that the phone rings or the people send emails. So talk a little bit about like how you transitioned, or you're transitioning into really taking this thing that you do out to the world.
I struggled with sales for a long time. In fact, I still struggle with sales sometimes, and I've learned that it's a matter of mindset. Ultimately, people who have had a negative experience with some salesperson somewhere, they're going to have a negative perception of it. And when they get into their own groove and they've got a business, and this can be beyond video. This is any creative out there that has this extraordinary talent that they usually don't even realize. They go out and present that to somebody, they feel like they're selling a used car that doesn't work. And that's just not true. So when you reframe it in your mind, is sales, what works for me is sales is education. Sales is helping somebody make a decision, even if it's not for them to hire you. And when I get on the phone, I'm starting a conversation. I'm not necessarily going into it with a obvious, okay. So obviously we want to make sales as a business. We want the money to flow in. We want the revenue to come in. But when we go down to the conversation level, we have to come from a place of service. We have to come from a place of heart. And we also have to realize how intensely valuable our work is to businesses, law firms, universities, corporations. They pay a lot of money to make themselves look good. They pay a lot of money to make their events look world class. And to have somebody, Kevin O'Leary said this on a podcast a couple of years ago, he values people who can come in and tell a story with really rich videography, really good photography. And when you go to a conversation knowing that you are providing a lot more value than whatever price you're going to put on the table, that's ultimately going to help you through that process. And I've never been a hard sell closer. I've never been somebody who's like, really, really, really pushing a sale. And I've learned, obviously, that's a better way to go. Like, I don't want people to get buyer's remorse over a video production. But at the same time, I'm starting a conversation, I follow up, and it's that reframe and that whole mindset has helped me tremendously through the client acquisition process.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that if we can, on a discovery call, I've got a call this afternoon, and I'm going into that call with this mindset of like, I might not be able to help them with our services. But the only way that I'm gonna be able to figure that out is to really figure out what are they struggling with? They want a video. So try to unpack that. Try to unpack that with your clients and ask them like, why video? Why now? Have you done video in the past? And you're obviously not calling, or maybe you are talking to them, but you're talking to us. So like, why are you talking to us and maybe not them? What does success for you look like? And when you try to uncover more of the thing that they're frustrated with or struggling with or what their goals are, a lot can come up in that conversation. And then as you're digging in, there's this book I read a long time ago called Question-Based Selling. And it just doesn't feel like selling when you really understand what somebody's problems are, or what their big issue is, or why are they doing video, and why now, and why that kind of video, and what do they hope that it does for them. Because when you unpack those questions, you at the end of the day should be able to say like, we can help with that, or I don't think we can help you. And that's an okay place to be. I think my last thought here is go into every call or every potential opportunity knowing that this might not be the right fit for you. Like, they are calling because they want to interview you, but you need to be interviewing them and really understand what their goal is, what their problem is, and it's okay if you can't help them solve that. It would be super beneficial for them if you knew in your heart of hearts, like, no, this doesn't, I'm not sure we can do this, or their goal is too lofty, or whatever, for you to introduce them to somebody else in your circle, in your network, to say, hey, I know so-and-so, they probably would be a better fit for this project. This probably isn't a good fit for us. The trust that you'll build when giving a referral like that, just say like, this isn't for us, but if you ever have a project that's like X, Y, and Z, like, this is where we really shine and would love to help you. So let's have a conversation at some point about those things. And then I said this was the last thing, but I'll say this one more time. No, not one more time. For the first time, when you're asking questions and you go into a meeting like this, there are other opportunities that might come up. When you're asking questions about, some of their struggles, they might think that they need a brand film, and maybe they do, but maybe they also need social content that's going to support that brand film, or they need a Facebook ad video, or they've just got bigger issues. So at the end of the day, as you are a problem solver with video, you can provide a bunch of solutions instead of just saying like, well, yeah, here's the quote for the brand video that you requested. It's like, well, here's the quote for that, but also we heard in our conversation you said this, and we have a solution for that, which is this, and then you also said this, and we have a solution for this. They don't have to buy all of the things, but for them to realize like, oh, wow, you really did listen, and we never thought about that kind of video, but this is our problem, so we should maybe learn a little bit more about how this kind of video solves that kind of problem. Okay, I'm done. I'm not done, but there.
Yeah, you touched on so many really valuable golden nuggets. Firstly, companies would rather invest $50,000 and get a package of videos rather than $25,000 and just get one. And what you're doing is when you're having these conversations and you're asking questions and you're learning and you're making recommendations, suddenly you're no longer a videographer.
Right.
You are a strategist. You are a video marketing strategist. And the more that videographers and video producers can bridge the gap from being someone who just takes orders to somebody who says, okay, I see this, I saw this, I'm hearing this. You say you want a 5-minute brand film, but I think you really need a package of 3 testimonial story videos. When you do that, the client's going to go, whoa, okay, this guy's an expert, this guy. And the more that you can sell yourself and position yourself in your marketing and your messaging, your LinkedIn headline as somebody who is an expert and as a strategist, people will start to view you and they will start to come to you for advice. And that's an excellent place to be in.
Yeah, I love that. And I just want to make sure people didn't like start blocking you out when you said, how to sell yourself. Right. And you corrected yourself. Right. You said position yourself. So that's the key word there, because it is, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, this is how we sell it. We're selling ourselves. This is how we're going to market. Like, these are the problems that we solve. But to just reframe all of our minds and say like, guys, it's about positioning. How are you positioning yourself? How do you, like, what problems do you solve? How do you help people? It's not, it's like selling versus helping.
Right.
They kind of go hand in hand, so long as you really desire to help people, and you could help them with your videos, or you could help them find somebody that is a better fit for them, right? So you're not selling that, but you're helping. And if you really do believe that your solution can be helpful, sure, you have to sell it, but you're from your expertise and from what you know and from what you've experienced and what you've done, this is the best solution to that path.
A struggle I had early on was I was focusing too much on the relationship. Like, I was spending too much time getting to know them, being like, just very, very authentically and very genuinely looking at their company and looking what they're doing and saying, wow, this is really cool. I love what you guys are doing. So much so that I would forget to ask for the sale. I would neglect the transaction piece. And I realized that, yes, a relationship is important, but a relationship also in business consists of a series of transactions. And another thing that holds people back is folks are taught to be humble. They're taught to be unassuming. They're taught not to brag. And that's something I had a hard time with, because I'm like, I want to be, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the greatest video producer in the world. And I realized you don't have to do that. You don't have to say that. But when you're promoting yourself, it's better to be, I think Dan Henry said this. He said, be humble in practice, not in promotion. Be humble in practice, not in promotion. So when you meet with the client, sure, be humble. But in your promotion, you should know what your best case studies are. You should know your top clients, what you did for them. You made them go viral. You boosted their sales. You sold out their event. Whatever it is, you should know all of those, and you should be actively promoting those so your prospects can see themselves in those case studies. And by the time they get through your marketing system, they're already sold. by the time they're meeting with you, they're like, I want that video. I want that experience that you talked about. I want da 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 da. So that's doing the digital marketing is a great way to pre-sell yourself and pre-frame and indoctrinate people into your world.
Well, and to your point, marketing yourself, I mean, if you're afraid of, if you feel like, oh, until I'm like 5 years into this or 10 years into this, or I've sold a 5-figure or 6-figure job, I don't think I can, position myself as the expert. I would argue and arm wrestle you on that. But what you could do in the meantime, as you're trying to grow your confidence, is have your past clients sing your praises and tell those stories and ask them, like, do a Zoom call with one of your clients and say, did we help you? You could just ask that question. Yes, you did. Okay. Or shoot, don't ask a yes or no question. How did we help you? Did X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. What was the problem that you came to us before, this whole project? Well, we were struggling with, getting more sales. And how did the video, how did it help? Well, we put it as part of our email marketing campaign. We did a Facebook ad, we did this, and cool. So what were the results? Oh, well, we actually increased our, revenue by this much and blah, blah, blah. That's, getting somebody else to brag on, or just tell the truth, not even necessarily brag, but tell the truth on what happened. Super helpful. Another thing you can do on the very front end of your discovery call is ask your potential client, this lead, what will mark success? What will get you to come back to do video number 2 with us? And start with let's put some numbers, let's put some data around how video can help, because most of us are like, well, the video got X amount of views. Was that successful? I don't know. I mean, did it turn into any projects or new clients or whatever? I'm like, it's hard to say. But if you can at least start by trying to, even help your client articulate what success might look like, then on the back end of a project, 6 months later, you can go back to the client and say, how did we do? How is the video performing? Is it, getting close to, or has it exceeded the goals that we had set out from the beginning? And then if you can get that kind of data, throw that on your website. And then you can share that data. Like, you're just sharing facts. You're not saying like, we're the best video company in the region. You're saying, hey, based on these figures, this is how we can help people. So if those figures look good to you, or these sound bites, these testimonials sound good to you, let's have a conversation about how we might be able to help you.
That also comes down to educating the client that there is some results that they can track, and then there's some results that they can't necessarily track. A direct response campaign where you're running a 15, 30-second spot on social media, yes, you can track clicks, you can track views, and if they have their pixels set up, you can track the sales and the cost per click and the revenue per click. A 5-minute brand video that is presented at a company event, well, there might not be any revenue tied to that, but there is a sense of loyalty. There's a sense of, we did a brand film for a bank a few years back, and the chief marketing wrote to me a few months later and said, I just wanted to let you know, we've gotten countless letters, cards, emails. Some people were brought to tears over a video. And so I say every time I'm on a podcast, radio, TV, I say video marketing is the most powerful form of digital marketing out there. And it's not just a medium that helps people make money. It creates emotions. It inspires loyalty.
Yeah.
It saves companies a lot of time. It helps companies communicate better. There's so much that it can do. And we all know that as producers. Our clients don't necessarily know. So when we're having conversation, and this is, going full circle to what we were talking about earlier, but when we're talking to clients and prospects, and if we can show them how to leverage a day of filming and leverage all of that B-roll and all of those interview sound bites, like, hey, we're coming in for a brand film, but let's look at what are all the interview sound bites that didn't get included into the brand film? What can we do with those? Let's turn those into reels. Let's turn those into so on and so forth, based on everything that you've learned. that creates a really awesome relationship where they feel like they're getting a really good ROI.
Yeah, that's great. I would love for you to just kind of share a little bit about how you are productizing what you're doing so that you might inspire some other people to think, oh, I guess I could probably do that.
Sure. I'll start by differentiating between a custom proposal order versus a productized offer. So a custom order, 99% of everybody listening is going to be familiar with that. Somebody contacts you and says, hey, I'm thinking about doing XYZ. Then you have that conversation, you have that discovery, and then you end up creating a custom proposal. And as long as you present it to them properly and you sell it to them properly, they say yes and they move forward. A productized offer is you're delivering a series of videos, or it could be one video, but you're delivering a package of videos that is systematized for every client who qualifies for it, who asks for it. With a custom proposal, you have to spend a lot of time in discovery, figuring out exactly what you're going to do. You have to spend a lot of time sometimes preparing a proposal. You have to spend time presenting it, and you have to spend a lot of time internally getting your team on board with what you're doing so that you can properly present it to the client. That takes a lot of time, and you may not get the sale unless you're doing what Ryan has always taught, which is the Video Blueprint Workshop. It's another plug for you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You can find that at studiosherpas.com/blueprints. Now back.
By Studio Sherpas. And now back to the show. Versus the productized offer. It's you're taking your clients through a system, a proven system. You present the same presentation to every client. Now, there is some customization involved, but by and large, you are presenting the same strategy. The tactics may shift a little bit depending on the client, but you have a landing page. You have you set up a complete marketing system where you can grab folks' email address. Maybe you give them a free report, or you sell them some kind of training. You get them into a strategy, and then you teach them the strategy and sell them the implementation for it. And the implementation is your product. And I've spent a lot of time asking my clients, what do they want? And this is something a lot of companies. I certainly did not do this for a long time. I was more product centric rather than client centric. And I'm still working on becoming client centric, to be truthfully honest with you. And I've had a lot of clients tell me, I've hired so many event video people and I never saw any of the B-roll. Like, yeah, we saw it in the edited video, but we were hoping we could get access. And I know this is something that you're passionate about too, on the B-roll, on the raw footage side. And videographers and video producers seem to, fight to the nail on this topic of having access to raw footage. And so I create a product where, we're going to cherry pick the very best B-roll pieces, put that into a 1 to 5 minute reel, and then you can use that however you would like on Facebook. Put that in the background of your website. So when people come to your website, they see something dynamic and moving. And clients appreciate that. They appreciate that they have access to that. And I've also heard from my clients, like, a lot of folks are camera shy. A lot of folks have never had any sort of media training. And maybe they're good speaking in front of a group of people, but when they introduce a camera, suddenly they freeze up and they don't quite feel like themselves. And so I started introducing on-camera confidence into my offer. And it started with having some of my own media coaches come in and show them. And now I'm starting to offer camera confidence coaching on my own to them. And I'm even thinking about doing a course. Like, I'm still figuring out the best way to integrate that. But The point is, your clients have needs, they have problems, and they have things to say about prior experiences that they've had. And when you can create something that solves those problems and you present an offer that's not just a video, but maybe you're running some ads too. Maybe you're really good at running social media ads. You present a video and you help them get results with it. Suddenly you're not making just a video. Suddenly you're making them an offer. And that's where the value comes in. And that's where clients will be able to track that ROI.
That's great. Yeah, love that. I love, even as you're saying that, we've got somebody in our studio right now. We're filming 3 days of course material for her, and her co-partner, her and her business partner. How about that? Neither one of them are, they do tons of presentations and workshops, but not in front of a camera. And I was like, oh, I have to coach them. I have to guide them, which is nothing new. I mean, typically, most of the people that, we get on camera, they're not constantly on camera. So being able to offer something like, even as you were saying that, I was like, man, I should have like just a short video, and the things that I just shared with Kim yesterday, I could put that in a 5-minute video that says, hey, here, wear this kind of stuff. So we've got a little video that says like, do's and don'ts, but I don't have one where I say, okay, so remember when you're looking into the lens or the teleprompter, there is a person on the other end. So it's easy to get lost in let me just get the lines right, make sure I'm reading it. But just remember that what you're sharing it will change the world. Maybe just a teeny, corner of it, but remember that. Don't just feel like, oh, you got to get your words right, but just there is somebody inside of that lens that's hearing you. So to create something like that and to send that, for me in this case, I should have just had that to send that, give that to them, but to be able to offer that to people and say, hey, we can help you with this. Whether you're doing a brand film with us or not, if you're going to be, in front of a camera ever, download this free thing or buy this 99 course or, let me coach you to help you. I love that. So in your offerings then, when you're talking about productizing, like lay that out for us. You've got this camera confidence offer.
Yes.
And
yes.
Go ahead.
So we start with setting out the video blueprint. We move into camera confidence. We set up the filming day, and then we move into editing, and then we deliver and make sure that's the process from a high level. But it starts with making sure the foundation of the video is set, making sure that we understand the audience, the intended message, the intended objectives for the video. And then from there, we move to the camera confidence, and then we set up the filming.
So in your presentation or your offer, the things that are productized, is it a brand film or is it something else, or what is actually the product's part?
Sure. So what we have been testing and what we've been successful at signing clients on is a 3-minute brand video, 2 to 3 minute brand video, along with a 30-second commercial and a collection of social media videos that are vertical, so vertical reels. We didn't even use the word interview footage. We call them on-camera conversations, because we've found that the word interview tends to stress people out. They feel like they walk in and they feel like they're about to be on Dateline getting, where were you on the night of the 15th? with a film crew that they may or may not have met before. They've met me before. They've met my creative producers before. So having a producer on set and just say, hey, we're here to have a conversation. And we send them some questions ahead of time so they can start percolating their responses And that allows them to come back and say, hey, can we change some of these talk points? Or they can say, yeah, we love it. And then we cherry pick those sound bites, arrange them, put them into a brand video. And then all of the unused interview footage, we turn those into reels, or we turn those into other short form. We like the vertical content because it helps our clients get out there organically and attract a bigger following on social media. We also put together a B-roll package that they can use as well. And that's, in a nutshell, that's what we're working with right now. And I didn't even give myself permission to set up a landing page or even create a presentation until I sold one. It had to sell on a whiteboard for me to put any attention into the marketing materials for it, because I know that I have an issue. I get an idea, I run out and I create the funnel and I create all the graphics and I shoot the video, and before I even sell one product. And I've done that so many times where it's like, okay,
I can't relate. I cannot relate to what you're talking about right now.
Really? Well, you've got the golden strategy then.
Just kidding. I'm like, that's like my life. You're describing my life right now. Continue.
Well, it just comes down to pre-selling the offer. And if you can sell something on a plain email with black and white text, and then hop on the phone with somebody and reiterate it, and they want it, like, you've got a good offer. And all that fancy marketing stuff will just boost, like, the fancy marketing stuff will maybe make 5 to 10% more people want to buy it. Like, that's what it is. And so that has saved me a lot of time, and it's helped me narrow my focus in my business to, okay, what's creating real revenue? Is it going out here and creating another funnel, or is it going out and creating conversations and continuing conversations? And I think it was through your community that I learned that conversations create clients. And it doesn't have to be a sales conversation. It can just be calling somebody and saying, hey, I went to your open house. Like, how's your business going? Because that could lead to a referral, or that could create another opportunity. Maybe you end up hiring them. I mean, it's all an ecosystem here. And I feel like I've derailed myself here. We're talking about so many good things.
No, that's good. It made me think. I just had a guy reach out on LinkedIn, and my response to him, I was like, I feel like this guy's trying to sell me something. So my reply to him was something like, how are you using video? I'm like, I'm gonna beat you to the punch because I know you're about to sell me something. So how are you using video, like, as you're scaling? And he said, I don't know, but like your LinkedIn profile is awesome, because I have a video on my profile thing, and he made a couple of mentions, and I was like, well, let's get on a call. But even as you're saying that, my job on that call is I'm not going to sell him. I'm going to ask him a lot of questions. But to what you just said, he might actually be able to help me. Like, I think so many times I just feel like I'm trying to defend, like, all the people that are trying to sell me something, and I'm like, nope, don't need it. I've already got that covered, or whatever. But quite honestly, I should maybe, I don't know if it's like squashing my ego or just my assumption meter. There's quite possibly something that this guy could help me with. So if I ask good questions about his business and how he helps people and what he does, that might be like, oh, yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I don't have the money for that, but based on what you just said, I'll get my money back, if I invest in your coaching or whatever that thing might be. So you just bring up an interesting
Well, that same guy emailed me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I'll give you $100 when you talk to Ryan to tell him to.
Wait a minute. Oh man, this is good. Well, what is your encouragement for people that are in this space that are probably so used to custom quoting everything, which takes so much time, which if you have a team, every project is brand new, so it just takes so much longer. Having some kind of a product, a brand film, and it's like, we did this a long time ago where we built 3 packages. We did like a 1-day brand film, 2-day, and a 3-day. And that was the biggest differentiator, right? It was like, we're gonna get a lot more footage, but if they had a lot of people to interview, then it's like you probably, or you want a lot more B-roll, then you're probably gonna lean toward package 2 or 3. So somebody that hasn't taken that leap because they think, oh, it's gonna suck the creativity out of the work if I'm, having packages and offering that. What's your encouragement to somebody that might be on the fence about productizing their service?
Well, firstly, understand your clients. Custom orders, people who need custom quotes, usually they're larger organizations that know exactly what they need. Universities, law firms that have entire marketing departments where you're working directly with the CMO, they will always have custom needs. And they are good clients to have because you can charge more for those custom projects versus maybe a smaller organization who doesn't necessarily have a huge marketing team like a big company does. They often need guidance. In fact, they very frequently need guidance. And what I would say to folks who are maybe you're always sending custom proposals and you want to lean in the direction of creating something that's a little bit more systematized, more productized, go back to your favorite clients and say, hey, like, what did you like about XYZ? What did you like about what we did? What could we have done better? Really have a good conversation with them. And then you'll start to notice some consistencies. The consistencies I noticed more than anything else, at least with the folks that we've worked with, is on-camera confidence, access to raw footage, and another percentage of clients liked having a package of multiple videos that they could use on different channels rather than just one. So when I created my offer, which I'm still refining, I made sure there's an on-camera confidence component, and I made sure that my clients knew that when I was presenting it to them. I made sure that there was a component that included access to raw footage. I made sure that my clients knew that we were leveraging all of the footage that we created. So in other words, when we go film, nothing's going to get left on the cutting room floor because we're giving you a whole package. And the clients that have invested in this offer are clients who do not do a lot of video. And if they do, it's iPhone footage or it's very, very simple type footage. And they are in a place in their organization where they want to elevate their online presence. And they understand that video is a piece of a complete marketing system that would help them do that. And so those are just my observations. I'm not necessarily suggesting that that's the right way or the wrong way to do it. Those are just based off of my observations, and that's what I'm seeing as what's working.
Yeah, love that. Awesome, man. Well, this has been a great conversation. Hate to have to wind down now, but we do. Where can people find you? Also, you've got a book coming out, which is really exciting. Give us the details on how people can follow along with you.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram, Maxwell Z Bentley. Maxwell like the coffee, Z is in Zulu, Bentley like the car. Same on LinkedIn. And I am writing a book. I'm about halfway through. It's called Video Marketing Secrets, the perfect video strategy for attracting your dream clients. The first part of the book will open with a prologue about how I took my mom's camera when I was 6 years old, went viral on YouTube at 13, got my first client, and then I'll go into 21 secrets that I learned about video marketing, which is now the exact same strategy that I am presenting and offering to my clients. You can maybe by the time this podcast comes out, maybe it'll be finished and ready, videomarketingsecrets.com, or you can go there to pre-order one if you would like.
Awesome, Maxwell. Thank you so much, man. Good luck on the launch and appreciate you sharing today. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. This was a lot of fun. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining me on this episode. Super grateful, so grateful to have you. If you have an aha moment, if you have a takeaway, something that you want to share, leave it in the comments section below. Reach out with an email. My email is ryan@studiosherpas.com. Let me know what's going on. How can I help you in this world of running a video business? Don't be a stranger, and don't forget to pencil in the dates for our in-person event, the Onward Summit for video business owners. That's going to be hosted at our studio in Metro Detroit. Pencil in these dates. They're not for certain yet, but they will be very, very soon. It's like October 6th through the 9th. I think it's that Sunday. People will come in on Sunday night, and then we'll workshop on Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday morning, and then you'll go home and you'll be crying because you'll be like, I don't want to leave. That was so amazing hanging out with all those video business nerds. So anyway, Onward Summit is coming up. More information about how to register for that probably in the coming weeks, but I want you to pencil it in to your calendar so you don't book any events or anything on top of it, okay? All right, that's it. That's all I got. I'll talk to you real soon. See ya. Bye.